All right, folks, what a week of crime-related headlines we have coming your way today. In Louisiana, an officer is killed and another seriously injured in a shooting at an Iberville Parish courthouse following an interrogation. In Indiana, former NFL quarterback Mark Sanchez is arrested and charged after a dispute over a parking spot leads to felony battery. In Connecticut, a woman is charged after poisoning her estranged husband's wine with antifreeze. In Kentucky, a teacher is arrested after video chatting with a student while nude in the shower. In Florida, a female firefighter dumps 75 tampons on her ex-boyfriend's lawn after she discovered he's dating someone new. And much more today coming your way on Crime Wire Weekly. I'm Jim Chapman.
And I'm Kelly Jennings.
And look, I'm going to start this one off by reporting something that on its surface may not seem like a crime, but considering how iconic this person is, any insinuation of her impending death is, in my opinion, a crime of enormous proportion, and it has to do with the recent social media post by Dolly Parton's sister alluding to something of the effect of Dolly's days being numbered here on planet Earth.
All of our days are numbered, Jim.
Right. Well,
but Dolly...
thank you, Kelly. Dolly Parton wants fans to know that despite some health woes, she's doing just fine. One day after her sister Frida told fans she had been up all night praying for the star. Parton, who is 79, addressed the concerns about her recent health issues in a video that was shared on social media. The singer said on Wednesday that she was on set doing commercials for the Grand Ole Opry and noticed that, quote, lately everybody thinks I'm sicker than I am. Do I look sick to you? I'm working hard here. Anyway, I wanted to put everyone's mind at ease. Those of you who seem to be real concerned, I appreciate your prayers because I'm a person of faith. I can always use prayers for any and everything, but I wanted to let you know I'm okay. Now, Parton went on to say that some of her problems were linked to the aftermath of her husband Carl Dean's death in March, which she says she kind of neglected her own health at that point. The couple was married for 58 years before Dean died on March 3rd at the age of 82. She said, back when my husband Carl was very sick, that was for a long time, and when he passed, I just didn't take care of myself. So I let a lot of things go that should have been taken care of. So anyway, when I got around to it, she said she talked to her doctor and he said, hey, we need to take care of some things. It was nothing major, but I did have to cancel some things where I could be closer to Vanderbilt University where she was getting these medical procedures done. She's having a few treatments, but she wanted to let everyone know that she was not dying. The star went on to joke about an AI photo circulating that showed her on her deathbed with Reba McEntire quipping that if she was really dying, McEntire likely wouldn't be by her side. And she said, there's just a lot of rumors flying around, but I figured if you heard it from me, you knew that I was okay. So anyhow, that's what I wanted to say. And I'm not ready to die yet. I don't think God is done with me. I ain't done working. So I love you for caring and keep praying for me. So Frida then comes out on social media. Obviously, it looks like she's got a little bit of egg on her face at this point. And she basically said that I truly believe in the power of prayer. She's strong, she's loved, and that she was really just asking for prayers for her sister because she was concerned because it's her sister. It wasn't because she was actually going to die tomorrow or anything like that. But it caused a lot of concern because you don't mess with Dolly Parton. She is an icon. She is one of, I don't know, maybe 10 people all time. You could throw Elvis in the mix there. You could throw maybe James Dean in that mix, but just people that are timeless. And Dolly is definitely one of them. But hey, she's going to be fine.
Well, look, I just was being stupid while you were saying that. I jumped on to make an AI image of me on my deathbed with you next to me. I was going to try to make it do it. You know what it told me?
What?
No. It said it can't make images of people like that. So I'm going to have to get on the dark web if I want to have our photo like that. But, Jim probably wouldn't be the one next to me either if I'm like... But I'm glad Dolly's okay. I mean...
She's an icon.
Yeah. It's probably like blood pressure or something.
79 and looks great for 79.
Dolly is somebody that whenever you... maybe it's just me, but I just feel comfort. No matter what she says, I feel comfort around her. So I understand people's concern, but dadgummit, Frida... You need to not be posting
Frida,
stuff and scaring us.
Don't be freaking everybody
Freak
out.
us out, Frida. Calm down.
Might be her nickname.
Right. All right. Well, look, we're going to go into our neck of the woods, and this is a story that's really important to Jim and I both because it's including law enforcement. So one deputy was killed and another was seriously injured in a shooting at the Iberville Parish Courthouse on Monday night. And it's kind of, a lot of people don't know this, but we go by parishes here, not counties, so we're different in that respect. Officials said that Deputy Charles Riley and Captain Brett Stassi Jr. were shot by Latrell Clark at the courthouse before 8 p.m. State police said that deputies had brought Clark to the courthouse for questioning connected to an ongoing sex crime investigation. That's when state police say that Clark grabbed for the gun. Several shots were fired, resulting in all three people being struck by gunfire. Deputy Riley Clark died at the scene, and Captain Stassi Jr. is fighting for his life. Please pray for the deputy we lost and their family, and continue praying for Sheriff Stassi's son. Every loss of an officer hits hard. Pray hard, and that according to Attorney General Liz Murrill. Now, Parish President Chris Daigle asked for prayers for the Iberville Parish community and for Sheriff Stassi's family as well. It's a sad day today in Iberville Parish, and we're praying for all of those involved. Iberville Parish flags were lowered Tuesday as the community mourns the loss of Deputy Riley, and a blood drive is being held for Captain Stassi Jr. Now, Clark had quite an extensive criminal history. He's been arrested 4 times in East Baton Rouge Parish and twice in Iberville Parish. Clark's earliest arrest in EBR was in 2015 when he was indicted for contributing to the delinquency of minors and possession of marijuana, but the case was dismissed 2 years later. He was arrested again in 2020 for driving a car that was stolen from Hertz Rental Company. The following year, he was booked for stealing a different vehicle. Clark was sentenced to 1 year of supervised probation on a reduced charge of theft under $1,000 instead of unauthorized use of a movable. All other charges were dismissed. In November of 2024, Clark had 2 active warrants for him in East Baton Rouge Parish, and documents say he was accused of shooting a gun into a home and a separate domestic violence incident. He was arrested in December for battery of a dating partner, aggravated criminal damage to property, illegal use of a weapon, and simple criminal damage to property. Court records say he bonded out in January of 2025, and he wore an ankle monitor until April. In June, he was formally charged with a misdemeanor domestic abuse battery charge.
Yeah, and a couple things there, and we'll just start with the charges, and I'll put a little bit of context into that. So with regard to the shooting incident where he was firing into the home, it was actually his father's house, and he was also firing into the truck of his father's. And from what I understand, what happened was he wanted to borrow his father's truck. His dad told him no. He went to leave, and as he was leaving, he popped like 15 rounds into the truck
It's your dad.
of his into his dad's truck. He then calls someone to pick him up, which was his girlfriend at the time, from what I understand. And his girlfriend comes and picks him up, and he's so pissed off he eventually beats the shit out of her, allegedly. And so that was what led to the battery charge that you just alluded to. But horrific situation, of course. One of these officers, Captain Stassi, his dad is Sheriff Stassi,
Right.
who is the sheriff in Iberville Parish, and that puts him in a really tough position because, you've got an officer that has been killed. Your own son has been shot and, horrifically injured. Like,
Right.
It wasn't just a graze. I
Right.
mean, he was seriously injured. And you've got to not only be sheriff, but you've got to be a dad at the same time. And I cannot imagine my heart's thoughts, prayers, and all that go out to him and everybody who knew and loved both of these gentlemen. I hate to see it anytime officers get shot, whether it's close to home or not, much less get killed. It's senseless.
All right. So obviously, in the court of public opinion, people who are not in the know have no concept whatsoever of how law enforcement works. They're going to start interjecting and saying, well, why was there a gun in there in the first place? Okay, well, listen. Typically, there wouldn't be. Typically, I guess best practices would be no weapons in the interrogation room. But whatever the case may be, there was a weapon. What it all comes down to is that this guy, though, decided in an instant that he wanted to grab that gun and hurt these officers, and he did it. Right. So policies, I'm sure, will change, be updated. There'll be way more training now on this. But I don't want to rock back on policy and look like we're trying to blame anybody for this. It's just people want to know, how could this happen? What can we do better in the future? Now, I want to add this. Thank God that Stassi is still hanging in there in the hospital. Our prayers absolutely go out to that family, to the officer that lost his life. His family's world is forever changed. But there is something I saw personally yesterday, and I want to bring this up. My mother is in the hospital, and 9 people at minimum, 9 strangers had to sit down, put out their arm, and give blood to have saved my own mother's life this past week. She got 9 bags of blood that complete strangers were willing to donate. And I want to thank anyone who donates blood. But when I went yesterday to go thank the blood bank, and I wanted to do some type of collaboration with them, I looked in the waiting room, and you know what I saw, Jim?
I don't know.
Police officers in vest, in uniform, sitting there waiting. And that's when it dawned on me, oh my God, they're here to give blood for a friend. What a gift.
And one thing I didn't, speaking of giving blood, I never realized this till yesterday. When another podcaster that I deal with was doing her podcast, and she does local news here in Louisiana. And she mentioned that, a lot of the benefits, I always assume when you're giving blood, it's because there's shortages of blood. But actually, it's a bill thing. You get charged for giving blood.
Yeah.
I never, or getting blood, I should say. So if you're in the hospital and you have these big blood drives, it helps with your hospital bill. I always thought, and maybe I'm just ignorant, that it was just because you never want to run out of blood at the hospital and people are giving it. Yeah, that's definitely plays a part. But I didn't.
Yeah, you get a credit.
I mean, it makes sense, but I didn't know you bill people for blood.
Yeah, you get a credit, and you can say whose name you want to apply your blood credit to. And
50 years on this earth, I didn't realize that.
Now you know. But you would be shocked how much, and I don't want to belabor this point here, but how much blood donation has affected my own family, because my husband almost died and had so many units of blood in a motorcycle accident, and now here I am all these years later, and my own mother. So thank you to everybody that's giving blood, that has given blood. And look, if you're looking for something good to do, please go to Our Lady of the Lake on Essen Lane. It's quick, and you can give blood, and you can save a life and reduce a bill. And I think those are both great things, that you can do. I
learned something new on that for sure.
There you
go. Thoughts and prayers out to Sheriff Stassi and their family, and the officer that was killed as well. Thoughts and prayers to his family.
Yeah, Riley Clark.
Deputy Riley Clark, his family and friends, and all who knew and loved him.
Amen.
All right, let's go to Indiana.
Oh, we don't go there often, do we?
Don't go there often, but we're going there today. And do you remember Mark Sanchez, the NFL quarterback?
No, I don't.
So he played for USC in college, and when USC was actually good. Love all my USC fans out there. But he played for them. Then he played for the Jets, I believe, in the NFL, if I'm recalling correctly. But he's in a little bit of trouble, and he's now an analyst, by the way, for football on Sundays. And we're going to tell you about this. Was pretty serious. He's facing a felony battery charge for what authorities said Monday was a fight over parking, in addition to misdemeanor charges that the Fox Sports analyst, so it's Fox Sports, was already facing from a weekend incident in Indianapolis. Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears announced the felony charge of battery involving serious bodily injury that carries a potential sentence of 1 to 6 years in prison during a press conference in Indianapolis with Deputy Department Chief Chris Bailey. Mears said the investigation is ongoing and that additional charges are possible. Quote, we are literally talking about people fighting over a parking space and or dispute about about where people are parking, and it resulted in someone receiving incredibly significant injuries. A police affidavit alleges 38-year-old Sanchez, smelling of alcohol, accosted a 69-year-old truck driver who backed into a hotel's loading docks in downtown Indianapolis. That led to a confrontation early Saturday outside the vehicle that prompted the driver to pull out a knife to defend himself. Now, get this. The former Jets quarterback was pepper sprayed and stabbed multiple times during the altercation. It became clear after investigators learned more about the victim's medical condition that more serious felony charges were warranted. This was a situation that did not need to occur, the prosecutor said. The allegations involve a 38-year-old man becoming involved in an altercation with a 69-year-old man who sustained very significant and very severe injuries as a result of the altercation. Sanchez was hospitalized with stab wounds to his torso, and the truck driver had a cut to his left cheek. Authorities have not said whether the truck driver may also face charges, but Mears noted that Indiana has some of the most robust self-defense laws in the nation. Sanchez has a hearing scheduled Tuesday, but that was rescheduled to November 4th, and he remains hospitalized but is listed in stable condition as of this report. Quote, this has been a deeply distressing time for everyone involved. Mark and our family are incredibly grateful for the concern. That from Sanchez's brother. But let's talk about this for a minute. And incidentally, Sanchez had 10 years in the NFL. He retired in 2019, spent 4 years with the Jets, and appeared in games with Philadelphia, Dallas, and Washington. He's been an analyst ever since. But let's talk about this for a minute because, you know, he was the one stabbed multiple times, and he was the one arrested, and that's because of self-defense. Look, this is let's call him a 70-year-old man. He's 69.
Right. A
70-year-old man, Mark Sanchez at this time, 38, a former NFL quarterback, a big guy. Kelly, pull up for me as I talk about this, his size and weight, his height and weight.
I'm seeing, too, real quick, they just said, while we're recording this, that he will not be returning to Fox NFL broadcast this weekend, but they're not saying whether he'll be
they're probably gonna they have to be real careful because that's contract stuff. He's under a contract right now, and so they can't until the legal system plays out. You have to be real careful. They'll probably put him on some sort of paid leave, and pending the investigation.
Yeah, and what I'm looking at right now, it's saying that he's 6'2".
6'2", and what's his weight? Does it say?
Not on the
unless, folks, I'm going to tell you, he's a big man.
Yeah.
6'2", probably 230, 240, if I'm guessing. But I'll tell you.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, 6'2", 232 pounds.
232 pounds.
That's a big boy.
That's a big boy. So you've got a truck driver who is, he might have been in shape, but I mean, he's a truck driver. You know, you have in your picture in your mind of what these truck drivers look like. They just drive all the time, right? Now, I know some out there are listening to this and they're thinking, Jim, I got arms bigger than Texas.
That's right.
And hey, I believe you.
I know.
I believe you, but are you 70? That'd be my question. Yeah. So this 70-year-old man, he's defending himself. It sounds to me, and I wasn't there, I have no direct knowledge, that Mark Sanchez was being an asshole and basically probably berating this guy, threatening this guy, and this guy was in fear of his life. Wouldn't you be if you're 70 years old and you got a 38-year-old, 6'2", 232-pound former NFL quarterback saying he's going to whoop your ass? So it sounds to me like this guy said, not without a fight, brother.
Yeah, I mean, obviously this would all be assumptions that we're making.
Absolutely. But obviously the police agree with us.
Yeah.
Because he's the one charged.
Right. And then there is video, it says that was, I'm looking at right here, and it says that he is stumbling through downtown Indianapolis after the stabbing. Oh, yeah.
Throw that into the mix. He was shit-faced.
Yeah, and you can see him walking. He's in like a polo shirt, and he's got his arm bent over his stomach, and you can see the blood. You can see the blood dripping from his stomach. Now, The victim, too, they've posted a picture here just now, and he looks like he had the brakes beat off of him, this old man.
Oh, yeah. He's a 6'2",
yeah.
230-pound former NFL quarterback.
I'm going to go ahead and throw out allegedly because this is breaking news as we're talking about this. But this old man has a C-collar around his neck. There's blood on the dripping down his neck. There's blood on the pads of the hospital chair. So this wasn't just like this old man just pulled the knife out to jug somebody. It looks like he was getting worked over too. Yeah. And it evolved.
And I think he jugged him after that. I think that Sanchez, punched him several times, and then he yanked out a knife or something of that sort.
If you're not used to fighting, too,
hey, I'm going to defend myself at some point against a monster like that.
And this truck driver, now that we've seen him, he's not a very big fit man. This is a 70-year-old man. If you look at him,
70 years old, no matter.
I know. And so
anything else doesn't matter.
It's kind of like a shame on you type of moment, because who does that to that? I don't know. He was drunk, and he, I guess, let his nerves get the best of him. But this turned into almost killing each other. Like, what are you doing, Mark?
Yeah. Well, he FAFO'd, didn't he?
Yeah, and he FO'd.
Messed with the wrong dude, and he pulled out a knife and said, "I'll kill you."
And isn't it weird, though, how the media spins this? Because when you're reading the articles that are, like, talking about Mark, they're like, we're just so glad he's alive. We're glad that this is not... But, bro, you started it, is what it looks like.
I mean, nobody wanted him to, be killed, but don't play stupid games and you won't get stupid prizes.
Right.
Mark Sanchez, that's my thought. Yeah,
I'm very unimpressed. I think that you should be held to a higher standard whenever you're in the spotlight like that. All right, well, you want to go right back here to New Orleans?
Sure.
Because this is one we've been following, and I know we had some bets amongst myself and friends, but Derek Groves, you remember that name?
I do.
Yeah. So he was the last remaining New Orleans inmate that was on the run after that big jailbreak, and we reported on this when it first happened, and it's just now, it's October, and he's just now been located. Groves, they were looking for him. This was going to be the U.S. Marshals that were out, and they were able to capture him, but there was a brief standoff at a residence in southwest Atlanta. So Groves was captured after a tip was called in to New Orleans Crime Stoppers. Somebody got paid, Jim.
Oh,
somebody got paid.
There's no doubt about it.
All right, so Crime Stoppers issued this statement. Crime Stoppers GNO is very proud to be a member agency working with the task force, which brought Mr. Groves to justice today in Atlanta. Tips to our organization assisted with the arrest, and our appreciation goes to those individuals who have called, texted, and emailed anonymous tips concerning this incident since the escape. As we work with law enforcement on this matter, we are thankful for the peaceful resolution to this matter and the excellent work done by our local, state, and federal law enforcement partners. So according to the U.S. Marshals, after the tip was received, authorities surrounded a home where they deployed canisters into the home and used K-9 officers to capture Groves in the crawl space of the home. Louisiana Attorney General Liz Murrell said that the crawl space in the home was created by someone helping Groves evade detection. Murrell said that she will pursue charges against anyone who helped Groves in his escape. After that, he was taken into custody peacefully. Video shows the moment Groves was taken into custody and driven away in the back of an Atlanta police car. Groves is going to be extradited back to Louisiana and taken to Angola with the other inmates who were captured. Groves will then have an initial appearance in court once he returns to the state. So on May 16th, 10 inmates, including Groves, broke out of the Orleans Parish Jail. Governor Jeff Landry issued the statement following his capture. He said, all 10 escapees captured. You picked the wrong state. Thank you to our incredible law enforcement officials from the federal, state, and local level who worked tirelessly to put each of these men back where they belong, behind bars. And he all caps that bad boy. So Sheriff Susan Hudson also issued a statement after he was taken into custody, saying Orleans Parish Sheriff Susan Hudson announced today that escaped inmate Derek Groves, who had been on the lam, but she says on the run, since May 16th, has been captured in Atlanta, Georgia, following a coordinated multi-agency operation. Groves' apprehension marks the end of an intensive months-long manhunt led by the local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies, and she commended the collaboration efforts that led to his capture. She said, "Let me be very clear. When someone escapes our custody, we will not stop until they are found. For nearly 5 months, law enforcement across multiple states worked tirelessly to bring Groves back into custody. I want to thank the Atlanta Police Department, the Fulton County Sheriff's Office, and U.S. Marshal Service, as well as our own OPSO Fugitive Apprehension Team for their relentless pursuit and commitment to public safety. And she went on to say that he's going to be extradited back and will face additional charges related to his escape. Our message is simple. I want to give a huge thank you to the men and women of this department, alongside our partners who remain steadfast in their pursuit of Mr. Groves and dedication to public safety. We can now close this chapter and continue the great work of care, custody, I might have a little bit of an argument there, control, and supporting the community. All right, and then attorney Liz Merle also said convicted murderer has been captured. She goes on to say that she is going to ensure that he is prosecuted to the full extent of the law. She thanked all of the partners that worked together for this. And this content was imported from Facebook. If you're curious, you can find similar content all over the internet if you want to go find more on that.
Yeah, so look, I think Jeff Landry's doing some great things, but I don't know if I'd be taking the victory lap on this one. I mean, it took you a little while to catch him especially in Sheriff Susan Hudson's case.
Girl.
You just need to not give a statement. Yeah. I wouldn't be out there bragging. Yeah. I mean, this was a freaking mess, and it I'm glad they got this guy. How the hell, with all the pressure was on him, he was able to stay out of jail or out of capture on the lam that long?
Yeah.
I can't imagine. Especially going somewhere like Atlanta, which is very heavy populated, which may have been a benefit to him, but a very highly populated city, but also a very highly populated police department there. I mean,
and he's an asshole too, though. By the way, we already know
blowing
this.
kisses.
Blowing kisses.
Yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. When there's a video of him when they're putting him in arrest, he's joking around, laughing, and then blows a kiss, like a mocking kiss at the camera. The guy that's filming. And
look, this was the most dangerous of all these inmates, and we're laughing a little bit about this, but no joke, he killed 2. He's a convicted murderer of 2 during Mardi Gras, shot 2 people in cold blood right there in the French Quarter, killed them, and
had nothing to lose
like
when
you
he
said,
ran.
Total asshole who he's where he deserves to be.
Yeah. So enjoy Angola, sir. I've been there myself, and it's not fun for you.
Yep, not fun for you. And we're going to move on, and we're going to go to Florida.
Oh my gosh, I don't even want to know. Florida is so busy.
Florida has always got something going on. And a firefighter there, a female firefighter, incidentally, which, you don't hear as much about female firefighters. These are awesome chicks that are running to something that most people run away from.
And I want to give a shout out to one of my former students, Randy. Girl, I know you're listening. She's a firefighter and she's kicking butt.
Anyway, we're going to get to this firefighter story, and a firefighter was accused of stalking after she allegedly dumped 75 possibly used tampons onto her ex-boyfriend's lawn when she learned that he was dating a new woman. What do you think about that? Is that a good payback?
Wait a minute. How do you collect 75 used tampons?
Well, we're going to get to that. So the Florida Sheriff's Office, Volusia County, was contacted by, is that how you say it?
No, it's Volusia.
Is it really Volusia?
I think so.
We're probably both wrong because Volusia ain't got no H in it.
It's Volusia.
Volusia. They were contacted by a woman on September 30th after she and her boyfriend woke up to a pile of tampons on their front lawn that were stained red as if they were possibly used. That is so gross. This, according to a probable cause arrest affidavit. Police reviewed security camera recordings that showed a pickup truck driving past the house at around 10 p.m. on September 29th. A woman allegedly sat in the truck bed until traffic cleared, at which point she jumped out and threw 75 tampons into the front yard. When the couple was asked who they believe was behind the crime, they reportedly both pointed the finger at Gabrielle Franze, a firefighter with the Orange County Fire Rescue and the ex-girlfriend of the man living at the home. They said it was likely her quote, demonstrating she was unhappy that her ex-boyfriend was dating a new person. They claim she had previously made multiple social media posts talking badly about them and the fact they are together. When police confronted her at her home, she initially said she didn't know where her ex lived. Yeah, right.
Girl.
But eventually admitted to committing the act, but said it was not her idea. Instead, placing the blame, get this, y'all, on her mother and her aunt who came in from out of town and made the plan
I'm
for
sure
her.
your mom said, let's get all your dirty tampons.
Right.
I'm sure that happened, sure.
Well, and why would you have 75 just handy? I don't
That's
think
what
they
I'm
were really
saying.
used. I think she just put some red dye on there or something. You're not going to have
Okay, but what is your
75
statement?
at your disposal,
What is your
if you will.
statement? I'm not pregnant.
Yeah, so
Check this out. Like, come on, girl.
she said that while the pair were in town, all three of them purchased tampons and painted them red to make them look like they had been used. The trio then drove to the ex-boyfriend's house and dumped the tampons. Police arrested Franz and charged her with 2 counts of misdemeanor stalking, saying the incident was done with the sole purpose to harass her ex and serves no legitimate purpose. And let me tell you this, if you got an ex-boyfriend, or an ex-girlfriend for that, well, boyfriend in this case, and you think that dumping 75 tampons on his front yard is going to get him back, it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah. First of all, tampons are expensive, and I would rather be frugal, and that's a waste. Second of all, I don't think your point was taken. Like,
Right.
Like, I would rather write "you're a whore" or something on a poster board and stick it in their grass rather than throw tampons. Like, I'm unimpressed.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm unimpressed. Glitter Girl, remember the one we covered where the girl put the glitter bomb in the ex's car?
Yeah.
I liked that. I felt like that had finesse.
That was
had
a good
style.
one. Took a little thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. It wasn't so easy.
Painting tampons, not so much.
No.
Not impressed. Speaking of being not impressed, a 42-year-old man convicted in the killing of a 6-year-old boy in Kentucky after he broke into the child's home in 2015 has been released on parole. Hey everyone, Crime Wire Weekly has moved to its own new channel.
We hope you've enjoyed this preview. To continue listening, please follow the link referenced in the description of this podcast.
Or simply search Crime Wire Weekly wherever you're listening.
And don't forget to follow the show so you can be alerted when new episodes drop.
Thanks for listening.